All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something I think everyone can relate to, the thermostat wars. You
Oh.
know, that never-ending battle in homes and offices,
Yeah.
everywhere really,
Oh.
over the thermostat setting.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You've got one person bundled up in sweaters and blankets,
Mm-hmm.
while the other person's practically sweating.
Right.
And
Right.
the thermostat becomes like this battleground. We've got some really fun sources today that frame this as like a hilarious thermostat war with like actual characters and battle tactics and everything.
It's intense.
It's a very serious
I
conflict.
bet.
So to kick things off, our sources introduce us to these two like classic combatants.
Okay.
First up, you've got the freezer,
Huh.
always layered up, even in the summer.
Wow.
You know, socks and sandals, that kind of person.
I know the type.
Constantly trying to bump up the thermostat. On the other side, we've got the sweater, perfectly content in what feels like a meat locker to everyone else.
Bruh.
I mean, you walk in their house and you can see your breath.
I think I've lived with a few sweaters in my time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely more of a freezer myself.
I was going to say.
I know, right? So anyway, these descriptions are so funny.
They are.
And they really capture how personal these temperature preferences can be.
That's so true.
It's like a fundamental part of who you are. Like, are you a freezer or are you a sweater?
Right.
But then the sources get into these, like, hilarious battle tactics
I know this. I got here.
that people use in the thermostat wars.
Yeah.
So you've got the classic sneaky thermostat adjustment,
Oh, yeah.
you know, when no one's looking.
Yeah.
Or like pretending to be cold just to turn it up.
A shivering act.
Exactly. Then there's the strategic use of space heaters and fans.
Yes. Guerrilla warfare.
Totally. And of course, in this modern age, we've got full-blown battles over the smart thermostat control.
Oh, yeah. Hacking the system.
It's intense. But it's funny because these tactics, they really show how much this conflict is about control,
That's interesting.
like asserting your needs in a shared space. But here's the thing.
What's that?
Our sources suggest that it might not just be about people being difficult.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently, our temperature preferences can be influenced by things like age,
Okay.
gender, and even our metabolism.
Well, hold on.
I know, right?
You're telling me there's like a scientific reason why my partner insists on keeping our place freezing?
Well, there might be. So, for example, studies have shown that women, on average, prefer temperatures a few degrees warmer than men.
Really?
Yeah, it's thought to be linked to differences in metabolic rates and how our bodies regulate heat.
Huh. Interesting.
And as we age, our circulation can change, which can make us more sensitive to colder temperatures.
So like my grandparents always being cold.
Exactly.
It all makes sense now.
Not just them being grumpy. There's actually a biological reason.
That's pretty cool,
It is.
right?
So it's not just personal preference. There's all this science behind it. Now, our sources do talk about some compromise solutions,
Oh, good.
like agreeing on a set temperature or adjusting clothing layers. But let's be real, those solutions aren't always perfect.
Yeah. No, they're definitely not.
I mean, I've tried the whole wearing layers thing, but there's only so many sweaters you can put on
Right.
before you just look ridiculous.
Like a marshmallow.
Exactly. And sometimes you just want to be comfortable in your own home.
I feel that.
Right. Without having to wear a parka. So it's a tricky balance.
It is.
It really is. It seems like a simple problem.
Mm-hmm.
But when you consider all these factors, the biology, the psychology, the need for control, it gets pretty complex.
I'm starting to realize that, yeah.
So maybe these thermostat wars aren't just about the temperature.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe they're also about how we navigate shared spaces
Okay.
and resources. Like who gets to control the environment? And how do we compromise and accommodate different needs?
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
It's deep, right?
So listeners, we want to hear from you. What are your thermostat war stories? How do you handle these temperature differences? Especially now that we know there might be some science behind it. Do you think understanding those underlying factors could help us find a little more peace, even if it's not always perfectly